Good afternoon. It's Monday, the 4th of March, and this is IBA News broadcasting from Jerusalem. The neutralized Palestinian terrorist who was shot in the head by an IDF soldier in Hebron was apparently alive at the time he was shot again. Israeli sources who asked to remain anonymous have unofficially confirmed the assessment of the Palestinian physician who took part in the autopsy of the terrorist's body, who said the accused soldier's late shot was the mortal one. The IDF will issue a final decision on the autopsy only once the criminal investigation is completed. If the official results of Sunday's autopsy coincide with the Palestinian Observer's opinion, this will significantly enhance the prosecution's case against the soldier, who will likely be charged with manslaughter. On the other hand, the soldier's attorneys claim the initial findings strengthened the soldier's argument that he felt a real and present danger and that he acted to neutralize the threat. The soldier in the eye of the storm, whose name has yet to be released, was filmed shooting the subdued assailant on March 24th, just minutes after the terrorist and another assailant had stabbed another soldier in Tel Rumeida. Security forces early this morning destroyed the homes of 3 Palestinian terrorists involved in the killing of 19-year-old border police officer Hadar Cohen in a joint shooting and stabbing attack outside the Old City in Jerusalem in February. The pre-dawn demolitions were carried out in the West Bank town of Kabatia near Jenin, where all 3 terrorists originated. In a separate development, the Supreme Court has canceled home demolition orders for 3 of the 4 Palestinian assailants convicted of taking part in a deadly rock-throwing attack in September of last year. 64-year-old Israeli Alexander Levlovich, who was driving home from a Rosh Hashanah dinner near the southern New Jerusalem neighborhood of Armon HaTziv, was killed in that attack. Judges ruled that the main suspect, Abed Duyat, who was 17 at the time, was the one who threw the deadly rock that killed Levlovich. To lose control, it caused his car to lose control and crash into a pole. The Supreme Court said the 3 other assailants had a far smaller role in the incident, and therefore only Duyat's home will be destroyed. Relatives of Alexander Levlovich today expressed disappointment with the court ruling. Kfar Qasim City Council has condemned yesterday's attack at the Rosh Ha'ain industrial zone, which was carried out by one of its female residents. The Israeli Arab City Council convened an emergency session following the attack and called for an end to the violence. An Israeli woman sustained light injuries after she was stabbed in the arm by the woman terrorist. The 23-year-old assailant was subdued by a group of local bystanders and a security guard and was taken into police custody for questioning. In related news, the IDF today released figures showing a significant drop in terror attacks inside the West Bank and Jerusalem during the month of March. Last month, there was a total of 6 terrorism incidents compared to 56 in February, 45 in January, and 40 in December. Justice Minister Ayelet Shaked has some harsh words for the High Court today, criticizing its recent ruling that declared the natural gas deal as unconstitutional. Speaking at a law conference this afternoon, Shaked said she fears the world will view Israel as a country that devours its investors, adding that implications of the decision could cost the government billions of shekels. The Justice Minister accused judges of causing great harm to Israel by entering into political and economic issues beyond their jurisdiction, and even slammed the court for what she called hypocrisy. She took it one step further when she questioned why the court didn't use its discretion to intervene and veto the Oslo Accords, which created instability. In response, Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit, as well as State Comptroller Joseph Shapira, both lashed back at Shaked, urging that the High Court's independence must be defended. Mandelblit severely criticized what he called Shaked's unprecedented attack on the High Court, adding that even if one disagrees with the judicial body's decision on natural gas, its words must be strictly followed. On a separate matter, the High Court today rejected the request of Jewish extremist Meir Ettinger to leave prison in order to attend his son's circumcision ceremony. Judges insist that Ettinger, who has been held under administrative detention for the past 7 months, still possesses a real danger to the public and therefore cannot be granted furlough. The court suggested that the Brit be held inside the prison synagogue with the participation of 15 family members, but his relatives chose to conduct it outside. Ettinger is the grandson of extremist Rabbi Meir Kahane and is suspected of heading a loose-knit group of Jewish terrorists. He has been held in administrative detention since August, but not yet charged. A bit of high drama in the skies of Tel Aviv yesterday afternoon. A light aircraft ditched into the sea as it was attempting to make a forced landing at the nearby Sde Dov airport. 2 pilots were on board and were safely evacuated by the Coast Guard back to shore. 2 suffered light injuries in the ordeal. According to the initial investigation, the plane lost one of its 2 engines just moments after it took off from Sedov. As the pilot circled back towards the regional airport, he quickly lost altitude and was forced to perform a belly landing in the water. Hundreds of beachgoers and bystanders flocked to the docks off of Tel Aviv port to witness the incident. Israel has extended the distance it permits Gaza fishermen to head out to sea along certain parts of the Hamas-run enclave. The fishing zone was extended as part of a goodwill gesture, allowing fishermen to get a bigger catch in deeper waters, where there is an abundance of fish. This despite the ongoing naval blockade imposed on Gaza, which Israel continues out of concern that Hamas will try to smuggle weapons. Just over the weekend, the IDF thwarted smuggling activity off the Gazan shores. The Navy fired warning shots at a fishing boat carrying suspicious cases and prevented the smuggling of unknown materials from Egypt into the enclave. The cornerstone for the new National Library takes place tomorrow in the presence of the nation's leaders in Jerusalem. The new National Library of Israel is posed to become the most significant cultural institute in the Jewish world and the State of Israel. The new National Library is being built here across from the Knesset and the Israel Museum and is slated to open its doors in 2020. The new NLI building is being planned by Swiss architect firm Herzog & de Murian and will have 4 below-ground floors and 6 above. Officials believe that taking it out of the 55-year-old building on the campus of Hebrew University will boost its access by the public.
The new building will also enable us to serve public functions that a research library doesn't necessarily have to serve. And that means reaching out much more easily to school children. It means reaching out to tourists who can come into our museum space and can get access to the library through that. And it means public events that are built on the library's collections with an auditorium and with the services and also the technological services that are necessary for a 21st century library.
The library has 4 main collections: Judaism, Zionism, Islam, and Humanities. Each one represented by venerable books and documents like this 15th century Persian Quran, 13th century Codex with commentary by Rashi, and even theological writings by Sir Isaac Newton written by his own hand and script.
If you walk around this library, you'll see that this library is alive and well. And if you listen to the conversations, and if you talk to the people who sit here, leading researchers in every major field of Jewish studies, of Zionist history, of Middle Eastern studies, of general humanities, leading researchers are sitting here, students are sitting here. The interactions between the materials in the library and the people is absolutely critical, and that's something that you cannot get sitting in your living room reading a Wikipedia article, which may or may not be reliable.
In this internet digital age, the question rises, are libraries obsolete?
The digital age makes the work of libraries that much more difficult, because who's going to preserve the websites that you're looking at today to get that information? What makes you think they're going to be there 10 years from now? And if you want to study 50 years ahead the Jewish communities or the State of Israel or the world today, then somebody's got to be preserving online content. And that's another job that the National Library of Israel is involved in and that major research libraries are involved in because preservation changes and collections change in the digital age.
The new library costs about $200 million, the bulk of which is being covered by the Rothschild and the Gottsman families. And it will be a jewel in the city's national district.
I think that the amount of visitors will grow. I think the uses that the building will be put to will expand. I think the visibility. And it's appropriate for the people of the book to have a real celebration of its book history and its text history.
This year's prestigious Israel Prize is being given to retired Major General Doron Almog. Almog will be given the Lifetime Achievement Award for his exceptional contribution to society. The prize jury said that after 35 years in uniform, Almog led a revolution in the nation's attitude towards people with special needs. More on the inspiring man and his lifetime mission in this special Israel Up Close report from Ayelet Saban.
The great Hebrew sages teach that each person comes into this world with a specific purpose, a purpose that will help repair the world. In Hebrew, this is called Tikkun Olam. It takes a man of great strength and courage to transform life's hardships into the act of giving and helping to make the world a better place. Doron Almog, founder of Ale Negev Nachalat Iran, a rehabilitative village for the severely disabled, is one of these heroes.
Our second child, around the first 8 months, he was diagnosed and we were told he will never speak. He will permanently stay at the age of 8 months. We gave him the name of my brother that was killed in the Yom Kippur War. And for my brother, I did my own commitment to never leave a wounded soldier in the field. I was the first Israeli soldier to land in Entebbe, the famous raid 1976, and the last to leave.
Former Major General in the IDF, Doron served his country for 35 years. He participated in many battles, but the greatest battle of his life, the one he continues to fight daily, is the battle to help children, like his son, Eran.
Eran, my loved son, he never said even one word, even Abba. But he told me about his position in our world. He told me what does it mean to be the weakest member in our society. Why this beautiful child deserved this destiny. Maybe he came to the world to empower me and continue debating with me. My dear father, I'm unable to do anything by my power, but you can be a messenger, you can be a mouthpiece for children like me. You're a great fighter, please fight for us. And he gave me the power to build this place with a dream to envelope this population by love and to change the formula of human being. Continue discriminating the weakest in our society. Our children placed on the most sensitive nerve of our existence. The children are the extension of our ego. We smile when we speak about a successful child. Of course, it's so great. Who made him? That's me. On the opposite, when he is diagnosed like our son, many parents deciding to leave the child, never come to visit, never mention. There is a lot of shame enveloping these children. It reflects a much greater problem about the legitimacy of disabled people to be integrated, to be a part of our society. What we do here, we call it tikkun olam, make a social justice for these children. Alei Negev is a paradise that may give them everything, challenge them, entertainment, education, vocational therapies, horse riding, safari centers, a community of disabled people.
The unique 24-acre state-of-the-art utopia for the disabled, located in Israel's Negev desert, today embraces over 130 residents, hundreds of outpatients, employees and volunteers of all cultures, ethnicities and nationalities.
לדעתי, עלי נגב יכול להראות ממש דוגמה לדו-קיום. זה מקום שאוסף את כולם, מאוחד את כולם, ערבים ויהודים שעובדים ביחד כגוף אחד, והמטרה של כולם זה לעזור לילדים ולילדים שהם צריכים אותנו.
לי אין חמודה. בואי.
מה שדורון עשה פה בכפר ומה שהוא ממשיך לעשות, זה משהו שאנחנו כעובדים בשטח מרגישים את זה.
איזה שמחה.
האהבה למקום והאהבה לדיירים היא משהו לא מוסבר.
We say in Judaism that the highest statement is ואהבת לרעך כמוך, is love your friend as love yourself. So the message of Alei Negev, make a better society and educate all of us how to treat disabled people. And it all happened due to the arrival of our loved son, Eran, the son who never said one word, never made eye contact, and was the greatest professor of my life.
1 year after Alei Negev was built, Doron's beloved son Eran left this world. May his dear soul rest in peace, knowing that his father will continue to be a messenger for him and thousands like him. This is Ayelet Saban for Israel Up Close.
And the piece you just saw was prepared over 1 month ago. Upon hearing the decision of the award to Israel Prize last week, Almog emphasized that the prize belongs to son Eran. He stressed that whenever Eran never spoke, he never called him dad. He was by no doubt the greatest teacher in his life. If you felt the lack of necessary bureaucratic services around the country today, that's because a series of government institutions were on strike. As of this morning, more civil service workers carried out labor sanctions, mostly out of solidarity with striking driving testers. Among those on strike are employees of the Health and Agricultural Ministries, as well as employees of the Tax Authority's Computerization Department, which halted tax collection yesterday. Driving instructors who are vehemently against the Transportation Minister's attempts to privatize the industry launched their work sanctions over 3 weeks ago. Some 15,000 tests have been canceled since that strike was launched. Meanwhile, sanctions at the National Insurance Institute continue in protest of a decision to remove uniformed policemen from NII offices. It's a move they say opens them to assault by disgruntled citizens. In local money matters, shares were up in the late afternoon trading on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, while the shekel was mixed in foreign currency trading. Here are the numbers. The IBA weather team says that it will be pleasant to partly cloudy skies tomorrow and still warmer than average. Here's a look at the forecasted highs and lows at home and abroad for the next 24 hours. That's our broadcast of IBA News for today. Please join us again tomorrow when Laura Cornfield will be here to bring you the latest breaking news from Israel. I'm Aryeh O'Sullivan, wishing you a good evening and shalom from Jerusalem.